Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the fifth place playoff game now between New Zealand and the USA. Both sides having decent enough tournaments at times. USA getting themselves that big win over the Samoans throughout the group stage that did help secure them a spot in one of the quarterfinal matchups. But the thing is, these two sides, this isn't the first time that they have met in Vancouver. They played on the first day, the first match for the two sides. And New Zealand were able to win it 52 points to nil. Now, I can guarantee you that's not going to be the score in this game. I believe it's going to be a lot closer. USA learning from some of their mistakes and now hoping to put it together in this fifth place playoff game. Looking through at New Zealand's starting lineup, it will be Sam Dixon, Dylan Collier, also then it is Afinia Nanorfo, Joe Weber, McGarvey Black, Leroy Carter, and Roderick Solo. Then for the USA, Thomasine, Diamore, Cummings, Fala'au, Talapusi, David Still, and Malachi Esdale. Last man in the starting side. Good crowd, says Xavier. It's not bad. They haven't sold it out, unfortunately, but there are quite a few people in attendance supporting the Samoans and the Kenyans, which we did see in that last matchup, the amount of support for them. But it looks relatively full on the bottom tier for this matchup. And for this third day of the Sevens, Leroy Carter takes it nicely for New Zealand, so they'll get the first possession of the day and already breaking through. And Leroy Carter, he's just gone. That's going to be the first try of the match. New Zealand scoring it within about, when's he put the ball down? I'm waiting. I'm going to say within the first 30 seconds. Yep, puts it down now. First 25 seconds, Leroy Carter manages to score it for New Zealand. Am I going to regret saying it's not going to be 52-0 again? Surely not. That is his third try of the Sevens competition in Vancouver. Waits for the bounce, takes it nicely, then just gets round Steve Thomasine. One missed tackle was all it took for the Kiwis to be able to score that early try. And Hamish, I'm playing mini golf today. Who do you think will win out of me, Reed, and Denver? Well, I don't know who plays the best mini golf, but Denver, I feel like sounds like a fancy golf name. I'll say Denver will win. Now, successfully converted there for Rohi McGarvey Black. And New Zealand find themselves leading this contest 7 points to nil. Just goes the 10 meters. Thomasine takes it now for the USA. Cummings goes across now. Esdale. One more wide cutout pass. That is going to be nicely taken by David Still. Now is running backwards, goes with the American football style pass, but it's going to go bounce up for Joe Webb. Another try for New Zealand. They now sit 12-0. After 100 seconds, New Zealand have scored twice. Surely they can't win 52-0 again. I guess I can try and get out on a technicality if they won like 50-0 or 54-0 or something. I can be like, yeah, but I said that there's a guarantee they won't win by exactly the 52-0. But at the moment, they're just getting it right. New Zealand, the wide NFL-style pass didn't work out. Normally, in NFL, if it ends up hitting the ground, they go back for the previous play. But that's not the case here. It's play on in the Rugby Sevens. And New Zealand are able to get themselves another try, now making the score 12 points to nil. I believe the kick was unsuccessful. So we'll be sitting 12 points to nil. Slapped back by Joe Weber, but it might have been slightly forward. USA now in possession. Going to the short side. Here comes Aaron Cummings. Even just to get one try on the board at the moment for the USA would be a great target for this first half. Ball pops out the back. Talapusi passes across to Thomasine. Good fend there from their number 7. Oh, nice inside border. David Still, who's knocked the ball on in the process. Oh, and he's hurt his knee. Looks like he's hurt his knee quite badly there, Roderick Solo. Comforting him, but this looks like it's going to be something bad for David Still. He does not look happy at all. Right, they're going to have to check on him. Roderick Solo looks like he's gritting his teeth as well. I feel like he might have gotten a little bit of grass burn there from the AstroTurf. Roderick Solo, big opportunity for him in the starting lineup. Still very young for New Zealand, so plenty of time for him to keep on improving. What's happened here to David Still? I'd like to see a replay to see what it was that actually made him have that injury, whether it was the tackle of Roderick Solo or whether he kind of misplaced his foot as he was about to be tackled. We are just going to be having a bit of a stoppage here while he gets medical attention. They keep on showing the animation as if they're going to show a replay, but then they don't show the animation. And how's our depth in the seven, says Ed Smith. We've got a lot of young players coming up through the rankings for New Zealand. The likes of a Roderick Solo, also off the bench for them, Peyton Spencer. Although he's not actually off the bench in this matchup, but he's another real talented young player. Caleb Tangitau, he was great until the Blues decided they wanted to snatch him up. And the sad thing is they probably won't end up playing him that much at all throughout the season. But yeah, a very handy player as well. I think it was once they decided to get rid of a couple of those older players. Nothing against some of those older fellas like an Andrew Newstub or Kurt Baker, those type of guys. But once they added those few more younger, quicker players that New Zealand started finding a bit more success. Right, David Still has made his way off the field, leaning on the corner flag. He's not looking flash at all at the moment, and this looks like it might be a season ender for David Still. Oh, Narohi McGarvey Black. Now feed that ball in nicely. Leroy Carter. Back to Joe Weber. Now the pass. It does bounce up into the hands of Roderick Solo, trying to go round Perry Baker. And Rebels really need to sign Rory Arnold. His club has cancelled this season. Well, their season in Japan after a nightclub incident. Rebels need him with no Phillip available, says Xavier. But would they be willing to risk it? That is going to be another try, and that is actually going to be Finia Nanorfo, one of the 20-year-old players in the New Zealand lineup. And another try for the Kiwis. But yeah, would they want that PR problem, I guess you could say, with Rory Arnold? Don't get me wrong, he's going to sign for someone, so why not it be maybe the Rebels? How much in contact are you with the Rebels side? With your stockade, Xavier, you might have to send them a cheeky message. Just say, hey, Rory Arnold, not a bad choice if we want to have another locking option. The more just not having this pace that he needed. But certainly plenty of pace for Finney Nanor to manage to score that try. That one is successfully converted. New Zealand now sitting 19-0 up over the USA. Still 2 minutes 30 remaining. 105 kilograms he weighs. He doesn't look like he does weigh that much, but I guess it's just that bulky kind of muscle type thing. He's still a very lean frame though. Now Thomasine, ball on the inside. After Perry Baker now gets his ankles tied up. Bounce pass there for the USA. Once again, a risky tactic. Joe Weber. Another offload. Dylan Collier picks the ball up. Beautiful offload. And it's another try. Now Roy McGarvey Black scores again. And the Kiwis now sit 24-0 up over the USA. This is heading in the same direction as what it did the first time that the USA did play up against the Kiwis. Go New Zealand, yes. Here's Reed there. Nice bit of work from New Zealand. Just the bounce of the ball. Dylan Collier saw Narohi McGarvey Black, possibly heard him as well, just say, yep, on the outside. Kick is successful from New Zealand. 26 points to 0 now. And it's definitely confirming 5th place for them, that is for sure. And you could hear the frustration in Sam Dixon's voice when they were talking to him a little bit earlier on, how he was saying how wrong they did actually get it up against the Australians. And they wished that they were able to take that one back, because if they could have been a possibility of seeing a possible maybe Argentina-New Zealand matchup again. In fact, those two sides may have ended up clashing a bit sooner, though, than the final. Could have been a semi-final matchup. Congrats All Blacks for once again winning another rugby title. They are on another world, although they do only finish 5th if they win this match coding, rather than in the first 4 positions. I think New Zealand will still be first. The overall standing says Mum, they should be. I believe 5th will receive maybe about 7 points less than 1st or something along those lines. So, yeah, Argentina, if they win it, they'll boost themselves up a little bit. They'll close some of that gap, but New Zealand should End up still number one at the end. Is this the final? It is a playoff final, which does mean they're playing off for fifth place. So yeah, playing off for fifth, the bronze final not too far away. That is between Australia and Ireland. And then the final is going to be between France and Argentina. Joe Weber, nice pass off. Then the Rohi McGarvey Black. Wide ball to Roderick Solo. This is another try for New Zealand, or is it? Yes, it is. Roderick Solo. I thought for a second he might have been caught by Malachi Esdale. Wasn't willing to put in that last big hit. And New Zealand in the first half have scored themselves 31 points already. Setting up for another 52 for New Zealand. If they did win this game exactly 52-0, then my comment at the start would have been the wrongest, or the most wrong comment I could have made when I said that there's no chance of it finishing 52-0 again. Kick away to the left-hand side. New Zealand now leading this one at halftime, 31 points. Now, would love to see a cricket score, says Ed Smith. So how high is your cricket score, Ed? How many do you think the Kiwis will be able to get to here in the half, or in the full half, I guess? At most, 62 could be on the cards for New Zealand. I'd like to think that USA might be able to get themselves some sort of points on the board, as we could call it for the cricket score, wickets. Get New Zealand maybe 31 for 5. Wouldn't be looking so good as 31 for none. Samoans, before the game, thanking their fans by doing a ritual for them as well. And that is a moment that a lot of these Samoan supporters will definitely not forget. The All Black Sevens sitting 31 points to nil. Rugby is so unpredictable. As compared to cricket, we all know who the top 4 teams in every tournament are. But in rugby, it's so different, says Coding. Definitely Rugby Sevens. Rugby Union, a little bit easier. But Rugby Sevens, anyone can beat anyone on any given day. We saw Uruguay beating the Fijians in this competition. We have seen, who else is the other big upsets? We saw South Africa drawing with France. That's not really an upset. There was also another draw early on. I think Canada beat the Australians as another matchup. Yeah, plenty of upsets can be happening. There is Wonder Woman in attendance, although I know that Wonder Woman was going for the USA, so she might not be too happy at the moment, although still having a bit of a boogie down. And hopefully we make a big statement. 65 points. Says it. 65 would be very impressive, that is for sure. But then saying that, that's only 5 tries, isn't it? Which is what New Zealand got in the first half. It just means that they need to get a couple more conversions successful. Sam Dixon going to back up to his feet currently. Aaron Cummings does have that ball for the USA. Now, Roy McCarvey Black does release him as he was able to get the knee down. Now I see Cody Melfi has made his way out onto the field. Perry Baker has to run backwards there and finds the pass away. Cummins now was a flat pass to Dear Moore. And wrestled almost into touch. Yes, he was. Women's rugby matches coming in the future. We have got the women's final taking place between New Zealand and Australia. That will be at 2:25 p.m. or 2:55, I believe, New Zealand time. And Joe Weber cruising to the corner. That is another try scored, making the score 36 points to nil now. How many of these games, how many of these guys will play in this 15s for the ABs? Probably 0, to be honest. I don't think any of these fellas will get the opportunity for New Zealand and the All Blacks. Super Rugby-wise, we might see 1 or 2 in the future make their way over. We did see Caleb Tungital recently go from the New Zealand Sevens to the Blues after only having 1 real good season for the Kiwis. Right, kick is just missing for the Kiwis. That will make the score now 36-0 for New Zealand. 2 more converted tries would give them 50 points on the board. So 5 minutes remaining. Looks like they've got Brady Rush now out onto the field for New Zealand, keeping the high tempo. It's not back onto the side of the Kiwis. Nice kick in behind from the USA, although the ball just doesn't bounce in their favour. Rolling sideways at the moment. Nicely taken by Roderick Solo. Now it goes to Weber. Dixon Cross again to Weber, who just kind of stalls with it for a little bit, waiting for his side to get into the right place. Brady Rush goes to Dixon now. Dylan Collier down the wing, taking on Perry Baker. Tries to run through him, but he has been dragged down. Now again, New Zealand will go off to the right-hand side. Rokalasoa. Inside ball. Rush across to Collier. They're running Perry Baker around all over the place at the moment out on that wing. Another offload to Dixon. Offload to Rush. He does drop it, but it goes backwards. Now Weber. Across to Narohi Makavi Black, who tries to get the footwork going. Finds the offload on the inside of Joe Weber. It's another try for the All Black Sevens. Running it in. And that will be a nice, easy one between the sticks. And that will give New Zealand now a 43-0 lead. It's just interesting, isn't it, how USA, how the game they've played, being close. Close with Fiji, close with Samoa, close with Ireland, a little bit close with Spain, I think, as well. Yet they play New Zealand, and both times it's been an absolutely one-sided affair. Very confusing, but I guess we've found the USA's bogey team of the Vancouver Sevens, and it certainly is going to be the Kiwis. Going over, 3.5 minutes remaining. It's 43-0. That's a random spider. I think it might have been a fly, in fact, a little mini one. 6 tries for Joe Weber throughout the Vancouver Sevens. USA looking to retain, and they have done nicely, or have they? No, they've said it's a knock-on against the USA. They just can't quite get it going right for them. And USA is playing so poorly after defeating Fiji, says Coding. Exactly right. Mike Friday can't quite believe that was called a knock-on. And I think that's understandable as well, because I thought it went backwards. Rokalasoa put the ball in for the Kiwi scrum. I don't think it's possible for them to get to 52 at the moment. They need 9 points. So I think we're safe in that regard. And now, nice inside ball again. Rokalasoa breaking through. He's got the nickname, the Rocket Man. Moses Leo, though, he's going to be the one who reaps the rewards. Gets the try. Almost put the ball down accidentally before putting the ball down, if that makes sense. Almost dropped it before placing it. That is his 4th Vancouver try. New Zealand get the conversion, and that puts 50 points up on the board now over the USA. Still 2 minutes remaining in this contest, though. The crowd are almost silent. Ones that were supporting the USA, of course, not too far away from Canada. But USA currently very far away from New Zealand, not just geographically, but also in the score in this point. Did he get sheesh tattooed on his hand, Moses Leo? I think he did. It's great having commentary about the match while fixing my car. Keep this up. You're doing a great job. Cheer, bro. Says Pal Pal. Well, hopefully your car does end up getting fixed in the end. And you're able to work out what was wrong with it. But we have got the 3rd place playoff game between Ireland and Australia. We will be scheduling that one in about 15 minutes' time. Also, we've got the women's final between New Zealand and Australia, and then the final between France and Argentina that we will be covering now. Nice offload from the USA. Floaty ball over the top. Now, this could be their chance to score the first try of the match. Esdale finds the offload there. This is going to be a try for the USA. I shouldn't celebrate it that much, but it is the try. They've done well. Looking forward to the New Zealand versus Oz final. Looking forward to the New Zealand versus Oz final. Yeah, it's going to be a great match. It always is between those two women's sides. And they play each other so often. It's crazy how well the draw always works out. That they're always against each other in the final rather than earlier. And upvote the video, says Mark. Consolation try for the USA, says Nov Mum. Now, last minute one for the Eagles. Diamore getting in for the try, making the score 50 points to 7. His nickname's the Chicken Smoothie? Is that what they said? What did he do with a chicken in a smoothie? Unless it's just because he has a lot of protein, maybe, when he has smoothies all the time. So maybe the chicken smoothie. I don't know how you get that nickname. Maybe he put some McNuggets in a blender and blended it and drank it like a madman. Now, after the full-time siren, New Zealand don't look like they're finished yet, though. Inside ball off the Roderick Solo. He has knocked that ball on. USA knocked it on as well, and that will be the end of the contest. 50 points to 7 in favour of New Zealand. Nonetheless, that is going to be the end of this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. The next game that we have got that we are covering on the channel, I'll quickly have a look at the schedule. Next game that we have got is Ireland versus Australia. That will be kicking off at 2:29 p.m. New Zealand time. And we have got the men's final at 3:26. But also in between those two is the women's final between Australia and New Zealand. That will be taking place at 2:56. 3 games to go in Vancouver. Next match that they are having is actually Great Britain versus Ireland. And then the Fijians will be taking on the Canadians in the women's side of things for the 5th place matchup. And nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will see you all in a couple hours, or in fact, less than a couple hours, for the next Sevens matchup.